Hello and a warm welcome from us all at the EV Café newsroom. Here is all that's new and approved in the world of sustainability and mobility for week commencing the 8th of August 2022. I'm John Curtis and today I am joined by the wonderful Sam Clark and the even more wonderful Sarah Sloman. First up, in investment news, GridServe. Oh my lord, have they been busy. So they have raised £200 million of investment from Infra Capital, the infrastructure equity investment arm of M&G PLC, in support of the company's drive to decarbonise transport through electric vehicle infrastructure and its mission to deliver sustainable energy on a scale that's needed to move the needle on climate change. The investment accelerates GridServe's plans, and it's part of the award-winning national charging network of electric forecourts and electric hubs. GridServe are now the benchmark by which all other charge point providers are measuring themselves. And in other GridServe fabulousness, UK Power Networks is upgrading power capacity for new electric vehicle charging infrastructure. Investment is underway on the new grid connections to switch on GridServe's new EV charging stations at Moto Medway in Gillingham as part of its £66 million green recovery plan. Quite outstanding. We have special guest Sam Clark, external correspondent. Sam, for GridServe, Chief Vehicle Officer, you must be thrilled.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
So, not bad for a week.
Bad. It's been a busy week, yeah. But the guys have worked tirelessly to get to this point. And as you just said, John, in your introduction there, probably from our releases, it's a monumental thing for the industry. We can't do it on our own, but it's a huge amount of cash to be able to help us accelerate this uptake. And as you said, the mantra is move the needle on climate change, and that's entirely our intention is to make a meaningful change, not just in the UK but globally.
Sam, thank you, Sam Clark, for your monumental thing. In other investment news, ZapMap are on track because they have successfully completed a £9 million Series A fundraising round, valuing the company at £26.3 million, with a further 3.7 investment from Good Energy and 5.3 million investment from FleetCor. That is significant stuff, and that will give them opportunity to broaden their appeal, to take their products and develop them further and move into international markets. Watch this space for more as we get it. In EV news, when is empty not empty? Well, electric vehicle drivers, we know this, Sarah, don't we? You get to the point where your vehicle looks like it's got zero charge left, but has it really? Well, it has some left. Apparently, manufacturers build in a small buffer. So, Whatcar did some tests, and they found that you can have anything up to an additional 19 miles of range when your vehicle is saying zero. That relates directly to the BMW i4 eDrive 40M Sport. Other vehicles, not quite so lucky. The Cupra Born has the shortest summer range of 219 miles of all the ones tested, and the BMW iX3, the smallest emergency buffer of only 5 miles. But empty, people, is not empty. Sarah, do you push it when you get to range, or do you like to fill up early? I'd love to think she's going to say something. Not sure she is. Anyway, moving swiftly.
Can you hear me, John?
Yes, Sam.
The chance right now. Friday is chance day.
Oh.
This is all going so well.
We've got a long delay on Sarah, haven't we?
Indeed. Sam, do you leave it until you're empty before you fill up, or do you keep your battery topped up?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question, John, because I'm just listening to your data there. I think usable battery is the key metric, right? Because what we need to understand, there's a differentiator here between usable battery and actual battery size, because what's usable is what you've got available. So what the automotive OEMs build in as safety nets, if you like, to ensure the battery is never completely empty and actually never completely full either, is not range that you or I can get access to. But what is interesting is what that buffer is from zero down to we'll no longer let you drive anymore levels. And that does vary. And to answer your question, I have on my Tesla on more than one occasion over the years driven several miles. I think probably the most is about 10 miles past 0%. So the trick really is understanding your own vehicle and what that buffer is, and making sure that you probably don't go that low that often, because it's a little bit squeaky bum, to be honest.
There we are. After Sam's massive thing, we've now got a squeaky bum. Moving on. We mentioned last week the government's consultation on vans. Well, it's live, people. The consultation's open now and runs until 11:45 on October the 4th, 2022. We'll put the link onto our LinkedIn page and the YouTube channel so that you've got it. But essentially, it's looking at covering additional training that drivers must complete to gain driving license flexibility to drive electric vehicles with a greater gross vehicle weight, types of vehicles that should be eligible for this derogation, towing allowances for vehicles, and powertrains that should be eligible for the derogation. So if you have a view about vans, get on to that. The link will be on our YouTube page and also our LinkedIn page. Now then, driving. We've been driving for years, but people looking to pass their test are having a struggle. New figures from the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency show that there are more than 500,000 learners waiting for their driving test. In May 2021, there was a backlog of nearly 500,000, but now it's up to 530,387. It means that to get a test slot can take up to 14 weeks, and there are reports of some drivers waiting up to 6 months. COVID also had the impact of reducing the number of testers and examiners, and there are currently 500 new examiners who are waiting over 6 months to become qualified. There needs to be a great deal of emphasis put on this. We want young drivers to get past their tests, because something in the region of 2/3 of young people say they choose to take their driving test in an electric vehicle, and that young women are more likely than their male counterparts to want to take their test in an EV. 73% female, 67% of males would take the test in an EV, and 3/4 said they would get an EV as their first car. The young people are part of this evolution, revolution, call it what you will, and we need to give them all the help they can. And our friends at the AA with the driving school, they are top of the list in terms of helping people to do that, as are Drive Tech in terms of keeping people and their skills up to date. And finally, in our people section this week, we're looking at well-being and mental health, and Zenith Intelligent Vehicle Solutions have introduced a new package to support employees going through the menopause, which includes paying hormone replacement therapy prescription fees. As part of the package, Zenith Menopause Champions will also host dedicated drop-in sessions to allow individuals to connect and share stories and coping strategies, while expert visitors, including Zenith's own in-house GP, will also attend to provide advice and to answer questions. I've got to say, menopause is a massive, massive issue. And when you get to my ripe old age, whilst I don't personally suffer it, those around me do, and the impact can be massive. And talking about it, getting it out there, can help both people going through it and people affected by menopause. So please talk about it, share your stories on LinkedIn and YouTube, on Twitter, on our social media platforms about the menopause and well-being, because frankly, it is a huge subject that we just don't talk about. Anyway, until next Friday, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Sam. It's not goodbye from Sarah, because she's already gone. This has been an EV Café production. Other sustainability news services are available, but they're not as fun as this. The EV Café news is regulated by Tucker from the AA and 15 cups of coffee. Any query regarding the accuracy of the news should be addressed to Big Oil. Thank you, and goodbye.
Thanks, John. Goodbye.
Oh, man.
Oh, John. Are we still